How are you doing today?
I'm great. Very busy, but I'm very excited. Uh, we were able to test some things today, and I might be able to share at the end of uh, the voice chat. So I'm really excited. You need to
That's
share
fantastic.
your Spotify playlist with me because it's
Well, just join the spaces and we're going to do a little bit of music in the beginning. I think that's really fun to get the
yeah, for
hype
sure.
and the mood up. So today I would like to talk about like revenue in general, right? Yeah, so yesterday we spoke about how the math works and if it actually works, and you gave some very good examples. And I think today was also a VC call between some of the OGs that are invested, and they actually saw you doing some of your math magic live, which was quite exciting. And we'll see that sometime in the future. I think you have to clean up some stuff, but then we'll also see that here in the community as well, and that should clear the last doubts as to whether it works or not. But so today I would like to ask a few questions in regards to revenue, like what are the revenues that a user can expect from, A, holding the token, B, using the product, C, um, approving their tokens. Like what are the different revenue streams that a user or a holder taps into, and how they can actually make more money. And we spoke about this a little beforehand, and I think it's exciting to go into those different scenarios. And as we go along, I will ask more questions.
Yeah, for sure. So I think it's two-sided. One of which is what's the utility of the token, and the other is what's the user benefit when participating in our ecosystem and using our products. So I'll start off with the utility of our token, which I can disclose right now, which are our tokens are used as loyalty rewards for actively participating in our ecosystem. And that's the main driving force of our token. And we feel that if we empower our users and rewarding our users handsomely, that it would benefit the entire ecosystem and everybody participating in that in whatever capacity they do. Secondly, our token will offer access to premium features with tiered accesses, and um, you can think about features where like extra access um, for uh, to our products. For instance, the market making bot, extra usage. You can compare with Maestro, for instance. If you buy like Maestro Premium, you get a wider range of utility of the product. Um, Thirdly, is reduced fees. You can use the token to reduce your fees and have a benefit that way. And fourthly is MEV priority. And I can dive into that a little bit more when we explain about how the MEV individually actually works.
Yeah, so exactly. These are like the different scenarios that we were talking about, right? So um,
Yeah.
one scenario is using the MEV to do like long transactions as to, with ETH. Obviously, you have to have ETH in your wallet, and then the MEV does this thing. And so one question that I wasn't clear or sure about is, will it be using the Ethereum that everybody has in their wallets in order to do the math transactions, or will it just be using whatever you have in a treasury? And where does the whole I approve my own tokens and I get to actually be part of a math transaction, where does that all come in?
Yeah. So the long side that you mentioned on the buy transactions, for instance, where most of the competition is active as well, uh, to use that on the user side would make would diminish the competitive advantage a little bit. Even though we get way more competitive with you, combining all users and all the transactions, um, it's 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 smarter to do that on one collective side, for instance, on the project side. So the long side, the buy side, would be utilized by the project treasury, and the profits of those would circle back to the ecosystem and to the loyalty rewards um, for the users. Now, the sell side, which I mentioned yesterday, is highly capital inefficient to do as an individual. That will be on the user side. So users would approve their tokens, and they would target the sell side of MEV. And that's where less competition is active as well. So for as a single individual targeting those transactions, that's oftentimes yields more profit as well.
Okay, so does that mean, like, let's say I hold a certain amount of uh, I don't know, any kind of given token, any shitcoin, right? I hold that in my wallet, and I prove that, and you also hold some in your wallet. You approve that, and some other people also do that. Will we all pool our funds, and will there be some kind of pooling of funds in order to do the math transaction, or how does that then, go about? How does that work?
So um, if you approve tokens as an individual and to the MEV bot, and multiple users do the same, the MEV bot would prioritize for the MEV, for the maximum extractable value. So the user that would have the most tokens approved, or equivalent to the maximum that can be used to extract the value, that would be user would be first in line uh, to target a certain opportunity. Now, if multiple users apply to that, or to that parameter, that, let's say, you and I both have enough tokens approved um, to do the MEV, we would go to the second parameter, or priority, and which would be token holdings. So token holding would provide priority access for the MEV. If you would hold more tokens than me in that instance, your transaction would be prioritized, and you would get the MEV opportunity. Now, there is a performance fee that applies to the that particular transaction. So if you win that MEV, you would pay a performance fee, would cycle back into the loyalty rewards. Now, all the other users that have approved the same token, they would get a portion um, of that fee. So basically, what happens is it incentivizes to approve tokens, even though you might not have enough for the maximum extractable value to win a certain transaction, or you don't hold enough tokens yet. Um, you would still benefit if you would do that collectively with other users. That way, if for example, you would have approved a lot of tokens of a one particular token, and you hold a lot of accept, if you would revoke the approval to the MEV, the opportunities would still be targeted because the other users have approved as well. Otherwise, if we wouldn't do it that way, otherwise people would say, "Oh, there's one user that has already approved his tokens. There's no more opportunity for me. I won't approve it." And that way, if somebody revoked their approval, the opportunities would go to waste.
Got it. So basically, I still benefit even if my cash doesn't get used as an so it's not pooled. I keep
Yes.
my funds in my wallet. I think that was one of the questions for me. Is like, are the funds being taken out of my wallet, put into some treasury? Is it being traded and then I get it back? Or you just answered that. So I keep my tokens in my wallet. It just approve, and the MEV runs through it. If I happen to be like that lucky person that has the most tokens for that particular transaction, and then I'm close enough, I get it, and then someone else that also approved that has less tokens still gets the benefit and still gets to claim somewhat of a reward. Like, do you know what that, like, how that looks like? I guess that depends on the participants.
It depends on the participants, yeah, and how much extractable value there is. For instance, if there's an opportunity that yields like the example we sent yesterday, which was extraordinarily well, uh, that will be a good one if like three people have approved that specific token. Now, if there's less profit, for instance, and 20 people have approved it, it will be slightly less. So it's hard to put any hard numbers on that. But you did touch on one point that's interesting, that the tokens um, technically don't leave your wallet, or they stay under your control, and you don't have to stake your tokens or send it to the contract, etc. I'd like to go through that process a little bit, how we would target those transactions. If you approve a token, that's the process. You buy you snipe XYZ token, or you buy it and you approve that specific token to the Mevbot. Um, those tokens can be used in opportunities. Now, if an opportunity arises, what happens is the tokens in get on the first transactions get transferred to the MEV contract. The MEV contract performs a sell, and on the second transaction, the MEV contract buys back the same amount of tokens, but for less Ethereum, um, sends back the tokens to the user plus the uh, profit that was made. So the tokens for one, this all happens in the same block. So for one block, your tokens are used. Now, that's important because if you would stake your tokens, it's a uh, more of a hassle to get access to your you that unstake, etc. But approving the tokens will still allow you the freedom to trade your tokens, or you have still the freedom to use them in how you would normally, and can do so, act quickly if
So essentially, uh, I get to actually uh, generate passive income on all of my tokens that I hold in that wallet, whereas normally I would just hold them and look at them and hope they go up. But here I can, generate passive income if there's a MEV opportunity, which is quite remarkable. I mean, there's no such thing out there. That's like just super bullish, right? So okay, so we have that covered. Makes absolute sense. Let's go back to the first version again, where it's long opportunities. And as I'm understanding it, these long opportunities are taken by the treasury, the company treasury, rather than by individuals. How does the revenue that the company generates from the sandwiches on the treasury side, how does that benefit, you know, the token holders or the participants in the ecosystem? Like, how can I, as an investor or as a user, benefit from the revenue that you actually generate with the treasury?
we would allocate a certain budget to the treasury on our MEV bot, and we would handle it exactly the same um, as we do with users. The profit would go back into the loyalty rewards ecosystem. So we would run it. Profit goes to the loyalty rewards, and that gets added to the pool for user benefits. And we would have to, if we have a wrapped Ethereum profit, we would have to buy the token on the open market to add to the loyalty reward.
So do you mind explaining a little bit what that looks like for users? Like, how do they benefit? Like, what do they actually get, and how do they get it? You mentioned something about the gamification, the user benefits. Like, can you just go into that a little bit and explain that?
Yeah, sure. I do believe we have a specific VC scheduled for gamification, but our product usage or our will be highly geared towards gamification and rewarding users. So, um, For example, you would be able to get a gamified experience and earn rewards, points that are converted to tokens that you can claim from the loyalty reward pool for certain activities. And for these activities, you would think these are just the normal activities that you would have, like using the bot, using the tools. For instance, approve the amount of MEV tokens you've approved to the MEV, volume generated, uh, snipes performed, copy trades, you name it, referrals even. So there's a vast array of uh, topics for the loyalty rewards and the gamification. Luckily, we have in our team Roland, who has uh, spearheaded the gamification. He has quite a bit of experience in that area. So he and some of the other guys have made quite an extensive uh, system for gamified experience for the users. Now, what's important about this is that a user can just normally use the tools for specific things. For instance, if somebody just wants to trade and doesn't do the MEV side, they would still get benefit for other users doing the MEV side because they would get uh, loyalty rewards in tokens. So
Right, because they
there's a
generate
balance.
like volume. Hmm.
Exactly. Now, and because it's a there are uh, premium features eventually to the product. Somebody could come in, start using the products, um, uh, get rewarded by doing the gamified missions or uh, just earning those tokens, and in that way, by participating, they would unlock premium features as they collect.
Excellent, excellent. I love that. I mean, that is so much fun. I think gamification is anyhow the next level of interaction between users and software, and we see, there's a trend going into that direction. So, monetizing that is really, really intelligent. You were speaking about before. We were also talking about some of the revenue that you generate, and if we look at Jared and how much money he generates or how much revenue he generates, it's quite a bit, like it's in the millions, right?
Yeah.
If we think that revenue will also be used to buy back, so there are different pillars, right, in this whole thing. Some people might just buy the token and hope it goes up, period. They will never use the product suite, although we all hope they will, but some people might not. They will just hold
Yeah.
the token and done. What is their benefit from just holding the token and nothing else, right? A lot of projects, they do staking and this and that. What is the benefit of someone that just buys the token and holds it? Where does that go?
So I don't want to go into price speculation or specific holding tokens. We can't disclose any uh, uh,
Oh, that's fine.
rewards
That's
or
fine.
things that
Why
we
do,
can.
why don't you just say what you do with the revenue and I go into the price speculation?
Correct. All right. So what we use, we're highly geared towards, like I mentioned, we're highly geared towards user onboarding and make the tools beneficial to the users. Now, our idea is that if we reward our users very handsomely, that is beneficial for everybody that participates in the ecosystem. So if we have a certain amount of users and they get rewarded quite well for just participating in the ecosystem and using the tools, that would probably lead to more user onboarding and growth of the ecosystem. And the revenue we generate, we would need to reward those users, and we would have to buy the token on the open market because to reward us and use those tokens.
Right. So that's what I'm talking about. So we're talking about unlocking major sums of money in buybacks. So basically, even if you're just a token holder or a speculator, you could speculate with a lot of influx of new cash that was generated through the MEV, trades. you could speculate that the price keeps going up to a certain, because you pump more money into the chart. I'm not saying that that's a guarantee, obviously, but that is kind of the design, right?
Um, yeah, we would have to buy the tokens on the open market. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Awesome. Perfect. So we have that side covered. There's the person that only holds the token. They get the benefit of a likely price going up kind of speculation through all these mechanics we just spoke about. We have people that use the ecosystem, and they get benefit from interacting with the ecosystem, and they get reward points, and according to those gamified reward points, they get to claim tokens or Ethereum. What is their reward there? Do they get to
Tokens.
claim the tokens? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and the tokens come from where? The tokens come from your buybacks?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Now we have now a treasury that we've allocated to Kickstart when we roll out our product, but the treasury is filled through the fees that we generate, and we're filling that with buying the token.
Okay, great. So we have these two revenue streams, or potential benefits of getting involved financially, and then the third one is unlocking the short math, right? It's like approving your tokens, which is what we've talked about before, and then that is the short side MEV transactions, which we saw an example of yesterday, where a token was shorted, sold before all these other sells came in, and then was bought back later for much less money. And that is the user benefit of approving their own tokens. So if I do that, let's say I own the most supply of any given token, and I approve that, so I get the most benefit out of that MEV transaction. Is that then Ethereum that I get to claim or get airdropped right after it happens, or is there some time gap in between? How do I get my reward, after these transactions when they actually go through?
That's instant. So if you have if you as a user perform an MEV transaction, you will, at the end of the background transaction, you will receive your tokens back plus a wrapped Ethereum.
That's awesome. So basically, my wallet keeps growing.
Yeah, that's the idea, that you would lower your cost basis of your token that you've originally bought. That's
and if there's a lot of volume, then I could essentially be looking to get my tokens for free that I already bought, because I'm just waiting until that whole transaction goes through.
Yeah, if there are a lot of opportunities that arise and you can extract profit that way, that would lower your cost basis, and at some point you would reach zero.
Yeah, that's fantastic, man. I mean, that's absolutely intelligent. So these are the revenue streams that we're looking at, and obviously we're going to go into a later in a later VC. We're going to go more into the gamification and look, how all of that works. But yeah, we wanted to give you an overview of how these things are, and I did want Rich and CRG to unmute, because I think they wanted to mention something. I'm going to unmute you guys. Allowed to speak. Allowed to speak. Yeah, go ahead. If you want to say something, you're free to say something now. You can unmute yourself.
Yeah, hi guys. Good evening. About the project, just quick on my end, because I'm right now on another meeting. What I can say is that if you have a product and it is working, I've already seen it. That's one alpha. What I want to drop today, and next time I will give you more hints about it. That's all.
All right. So Rich was one of the lucky guys that was on the VC with the dev and saw the MEV transactions actually going through, and like a live test sort of thing. And he obviously liked it. That's why he wanted to come and share that.
Yeah, this afternoon I performed a live demonstration for a couple of partners that were onboarded and supporting. Um, and exactly like you mentioned, performed live transactions with the Mevbot, approved the token, and did the MEV transaction.
So this is what we wanted to speak about, right? Today, I wanted to just keep it around token utility, what it actually means, or how you benefit from holding the token, and what the revenue streams are you tap into by exposing yourself to this ecosystem. I think we covered that quite nicely. Thank you very much, sir. Love your name, by the way. It's awesome. And yeah, so in the end, I do like to quickly look at the chart because it's quite remarkable to see a chart like this, and everybody that has been in this space in this space will agree. If you look at a chart like this that shows zero sell pressure, well, like next to zero sell pressure, you see very small red candles, and you see the green candles all the time. What does that mean? It means people that are investing, and they're investing quite a bit, they believe in this product, and they believe in the developers and the team enough to not even take profits, right? So a lot of people, they're up like 10x. They haven't even touched their wallets because they believe that this is going to go much, much higher. And for me, that's a very bullish sign. So I'm looking at this not as a team member, but I'm looking at this as a person that invested in this. And I look at charts all the time. I look at projects all the time, and seeing a price chart that doesn't dip and consolidation phases are very, very thin, that's an extreme bullish sign to me. We're above 10 million now. Who knows where we're going, right? So with that being said, I look forward to our next VC tomorrow, where we'll be probably starting to talk about the sniper and all the utilities that go around there. There will be a lot to talk about around the sniper, like how it compares to other existing snipers, what the functionalities will be, how the sniper ties into the MEV, and so forth. So yeah, we're looking at more of the functionalities, and I hope you enjoy these sessions. I certainly have a lot of fun.
You're the best host we could wish for. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for saying that. I appreciate that a lot. Let's party and have a good time.